Hello, how are you? It's me, Deep Space Nectar. I appreciate you for coming back, and if you're new, welcome. Tap in, check me out. If you catch a vibe, show me some love, like and subscribe. So I'm gonna try a different, something different today. I want to talk about the daily Astro weather. Okay. I want to see how I vibe with this, and let me know if you're vibing with it too. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're taking care of yourself. You're stretching your mind, you're learning, you're growing, you're stretching your body. Much love and respect to you all. I truly appreciate you. I appreciate the positive comments and feedback. It means more to me than you know. So stay true and stay you. It's very important to do that in these times. So let's dig deep. Let's grow so we can aspire to inspire before we expire. Okay, so I'm going to explore the tropical astrology of the day. All right, today is July 15th. I'm going to try to get this out as quickly as possible. My internet's been a little slow, so we shall see. So today we start off with we have the sun in Cancer still, right? And we have the moon in Aquarius, okay? You know, moon in Aquarius is, it's like a time to get freaky almost, you know, just express that individuality, okay? It's a great time for being innovative. It's a great time for innovative thinking, out-of-the-box thinking, getting the bigger picture, observing from way above, you know, kind of thinking really bigger, okay, and thinking inclusively, right? Aquarius rules the collective. We could be more prone to intellectualizing our emotions, right? Because we're talking about the moon here too. Which is, you know, kind of surprising with the sun being in moody and tender Cancer, okay? But I feel like maybe the moon in Aquarius might almost tone down a little bit of that moodiness and tenderness that sometimes Cancer energy can bring up for us. Social gatherings, group activities, the collective consciousness, futuristic thinking, ideas, brainstorming, progression. These are all themes of moon in Aquarius, okay? And it's Friday too, so, you know, bonfires, going out, all that kind of stuff. Or maybe you're just having a little something small at your house too, or wherever you may be. There's this open-mindedness that's a little bit more available today as well. However, we might be a little less likely to stick to routines or to the status quo because our individuality and that personal freedom is really at the forefront of our emotional needs, right? Our emotional center. So, yeah, joining a group, trying something new, or really any type of group activity or focus is favored for today. All right? And, you know, loyalty is something that we may be thinking about too. Especially with the tide at Cancer. Cancer and Aquarius value loyalty very much so. So this may be something that we're deeply thinking about, especially coming off this full moon phase, okay? I also want to say be mindful, excuse me, of blind loyalty or being loyal to a fault, okay? This may be something to think about or journal about today. So we'll get into the major aspects of today. I want to say too, I am not an astrologer. I like to call myself an internal student of astrology. So yeah, I feel like a good way for me to be more disciplined with my studying of astrology is to kind of give it more of a structure, you know, and I think the best way to really test if you learn something is by teaching it, right? And you want to teach it in a way that especially young people can understand it too, right? Because that's how you really know, okay? So bear with me. But in any event, thanks for being here. Okay, so the 3 major aspects that I saw for today are Moon square Uranus, Moon conjunct Saturn, and Mercury trine Juno, okay? So I'm going to talk a little bit about what each planet means, what the square conjunct trine actually mean, and then I'm going to put it together, okay? So the moon, right? We have moon in Aquarius today. I told you a little bit about what moon in Aquarius may be. You know, and the moon also, the moon itself symbolizes our emotions, our needs, our feelings of security, our innermost self, our thoughts, those instincts, right? It also represents our mother or mother figure, okay, as well as our subconscious, our spiritual nature, and things that are unseen, right? Things that we may not be able to see, right? We may be able to feel it more than we can see it, okay? And Uranus, okay, Uranus embodies limitlessness, breaking through barriers, unpredictability, erratic energy, breakdowns, breakthroughs, extremes. This is also known as the father of electricity, okay? So be mindful of electricity today, okay, with the square. Uranus also represents the genius, its invention, its experimental imagination, okay? Uranus energy is also like sudden radical change, okay? It's pushing past those limitations, right? It's almost like the opposite of Saturn, right? Where Saturn kind of restricts and puts up those tests and those barriers and those limitations. Uranus just completely trailblazes through, okay? And Uranus is also some astrology says Uranus rules, Aquarius rules Uranus, and some say Aquarius rules Saturn. I think it might be a little bit of both, honestly, but the more that I study Aquarian energy, the more I think it's really more so Uranus, okay? But that's from my own personal findings, all right? So squares, let's talk about squares in astrology, right? So squares represent tension, friction, conflict, irritation, okay? These may be present between our emotions and unpredictability here, okay, with Moon and Uranus. It's like there's this sense of urgency for action, right? With a square, it's almost like a crisis point, if you will. So this is a really dynamic aspect in astrology. And, the good thing to look at is challenges will often push us towards goodness, towards greatness even, right? If we can direct that energy wisely and correctly, okay? So combine the meaning of the moon, combine the meaning of square, and combine the meaning of Uranus. And what do we get? We can get erratic mood swings, okay? We can get tendencies to switch up instantaneously, okay? So watch out for impulsiveness, right? Especially with group activities, okay? So group activities could get a little hot, right? The mood could really change very quickly. Our nerves may be a little bit twitched. We may feel on edge with this square, especially it being in fixed signs, okay? It's almost like the stubbornness may be turned up a notch, okay? Because Taurus, Uranus in Taurus, and Moon in Aquarius, those are fixed signs, fixed modalities, okay? There's also perhaps there's like a need for extra excitement or extra stimulation in order to really get us going here too. Rebelling against being forced to do something or being tied down may surface as well, okay? There could be a possible disconnection to emotions due to kind of intellectualizing them more so than actually feeling them, right? Especially if there's such a sudden twist and change of these emotions, okay? So definitely be mindful of moodiness, be mindful of sour moods too, okay? Abnormal behavior or tendencies may be prevalent, or these may be making themselves more known to you, okay? Keeping a moon journal and tracking how you feel during, every 2.5 days when the moon changes signs is a really, it's a really beneficial in my opinion, habit to have, okay? It really kind of helps you almost dive deeper into your own emotions, okay? And it kind of helps give you almost a insight into maybe what moon phases are more favorable for you, what moon phases you need to kind of look out for, right? And, you know, with Moon square Uranus, the way we show love may be different, maybe a little far out, quirky, a little odd, okay? And this may or may not be well received by a partner or others, okay? Just like an element of strangeness may be present with Moon square Uranus, okay? So next we have Moon in Aquarius conjunct Saturn in Aquarius, okay? So there is a lot of Aquarian energy today, okay? A lot of it. So this could also kind of, you know, whenever the moon's in Aquarius, especially, you know, recently, you know, because we're going to have Pluto entering Aquarius sometime next year, and that's really going to change a lot of things, okay? It's going to take, like, experiments and, like, this human experiment that's going on here, kind of, like, to the next level, right? And there's going to be a lot of things almost revealed, like through technology, through the collective consciousness, through just humanity itself, okay? And a lot of I really feel like there might be more of this tribe mentality coming back, you know, really a focus on the group, okay? You know, yes, Aquarius represents, like, embodying your individuality, right? But it also represents the group too, okay? It's like, how can we be our individual selves but also be a part of the group as a whole, okay? So a little bit about Saturn, right? Saturn represents our father or our father figure. It's authority, morality, obligations. You know, Saturn is that teacher, right? Saturn teaches us well-needed lessons with the purpose of instilling growth and maturity, okay? Boundaries and responsibilities are Saturn's playground, okay? Otherwise known as adulting. Saturn also represents time and commitments. It teaches us limitations, right? What are our limitations, what they should be, as well as self-control. Okay, conjunctions in astrology. I already told you, Moon in Aquarius. Okay, so conjunctions in astrology are pretty fortunate, right? They could be fortunate or they could be troublemakers. It really all depends, okay? It's about yielding the energy and how you're going to move that magic wand, okay? How you're going to work with the energy that's placed on the table for you, okay? It's another really dynamic aspect, right? And it's one of really great power, okay? Conjunctions are when planets merge together, right? They're in the same sign. So it's like the energy is just amplified, right? It's kind of like infusing steroids into them, okay? So the energy of Aquarius undoubtedly will be strong today. Kind of like a force field of it, all right? We have Moon conjunct Saturn, which may bring feelings of, depression, low moods, lethargy, discomfort. You know, there might be like an overall, kind of melancholic vibe, okay? Intuitively I'm saying stay away from alcohol because it is a depressant, right? So it kind of may make you feel a little bit more like droopy in a sense, especially maybe tomorrow or later on kind of thing. Isolation and loneliness may be a thing here too with Moon conjunct Saturn. This is especially if you live alone or if you are alone, right? Or if you already kind of feel this sense of loneliness, it may be a little bit exacerbated today. There's definitely a more serious, sober tone or attitude that may be present within our emotions, okay? Any negative attitudes, snarkiness, challenges, upheavals, they kind of may feel more exacerbated or more dire than they actually are with Saturn present here, okay? And then finally we have Mercury in Cancer, trine Juno in Pisces, okay? I feel like this aspect is a little bit of relief here, okay? So if we could lean more into this one and lean more into the, progressive and more positive aspects of the Aquarian energy, or really if we're just kind of aware of all this too, I feel like that may help us as well. I feel like being aware of things, maybe it gives you like a leg up in a situation, right? But it's almost like you kind of know what it is. So it's like, oh, I know what to look out for. Okay, so, people are going to be a little extra on edge, a little extra moody. It's already Friday too, right? So it's kind of like typical Friday, but maybe a little bit on roids. Okay. So yeah, I think it's helpful. And this is my own personal opinion. And I feel guided to share. So Mercury is the smallest planet in the solar system, right? It's that small red planet of communication. It's a planet of travel, usually small distance travel, local travel, kind of travel around town, okay? Mercury represents our intelligence, reasoning, memory, quick wit, opinions, our creative processing, really anything to do with communication, mental communication, physical communication. The energy of Mercury can be energizing and stimulating, okay? So there definitely is opportunities within the energy today to really pivot, okay? I feel like that's like a good word of the day is pivot, right? Like whenever you kind of get maybe too stuck in your head, or you feel kind of too weighed down by that Saturn energy, just pivot a little bit, tap into that, like that Energizer bunny of Mercury, okay? Just pivot with the moods, all right? It's definitely possible, especially with the quick, erratic change of emotions too. I feel like you can maybe use that to your benefit. Again, this is all can be positive or negative, depends on how we work with the energy, okay? And Juno's an asteroid that relates to commitment and marriage, okay? In our natal charts, it can be helpful in indicating positive traits of a desired spouse, and it is said too that Juno can help indicate possible traits of a soulmate as well too, or soulmate energy, right? It also points to wounds that we may experience in serious, meaningful connections and partnerships, all right? So a trine in astrology is a very favorable aspect, okay? Very positive. These generally produce harmonious, supportive, positive energies, okay? And typically trines are some of the easiest aspects, and it's almost like if you didn't know about it, you wouldn't even kind of pay attention to it in a sense, unlike a square or a conjunction where that's undoubtedly felt. That square conjunctions are really kind of in your face, okay? As opposed to the trine, which is almost just kind of hanging in the background. But that's also how smooth they can be too, right? And often are overlooked, all right? So with Mercury trine Juno, we can experience positive and more effective communication within our relationships, okay? Despite these erratic mood swings that may happen today, there's still this energy of reprieve and positivity, okay, that can really help those close connections that we do have, okay? Ideas and thought processes, really anything mercurial relating to commitment and love can easily be conveyed within a partnership too, okay? So maybe tonight may be a good time to, express those endearing feelings, right? Or have a heart-to-heart in a sense, right? Just mind the emotions and the mood swings too, right? Conversations can also be more lighthearted and casual. Again, there's always kind of a way to work with energy. And I find that looking through the daily astrology, there's always at least something that you can kind of counteract any kind of, intense, strong, erratic energy, okay? And I feel like the Mercury trine Juno is almost that lifesaver for the day. Meaningful and affectionate conversations are included here. This energy can also indicate enjoyable and pleasurable day-to-day routines with a partner or spouse, okay? So maybe going food shopping will be a very pleasant experience today if that's what you're doing. Something like that, right? This may also help, again, ease the heaviness of the previous two transits, all right? Again, I really think it's good to be aware of what is present Okay, so you have an idea of what may come your way. Okay, there very well could be these curveballs in the mix with Uranus here, right? But utilizing the inventive, innovative, future thinking nature of Aquarian energy, I feel like we can really make these adjustments just as radically quick as our moods may fluctuate, okay? You know, technology may see some shakeups, or I'm also getting to something important may come up via technology, or something about technology, okay? And electricity too, right? It's a good day to be physically active, okay? That may help mediate the heaviness of the energy. It really may help kind of mediate some of the really quick interchanging emotions that we may experience of the day. I do want to say be mindful being on the road, walking, biking, biking, etc. Could be a lot of travel expected today too, right? Just a lot of movement going on, okay? So just be mindful, okay? Stay centered too, okay? And keep up with hydration, okay? Water-dense fruits, adding citrus and Celtic sea salt to your water, ensuring that you are adequately hydrated, okay? Even submerging yourself in water will be helpful, okay? Especially throughout this whole weekend, right? You know, it's been a lot energetically with this full moon. The full moon transits tend to also affect our body's water ratio, okay? Similarly to how it affects the tides of the oceans, right? And we are like 70% water, okay? And I also feel like extra stretching morning and night. Should be doing this all the time, but I think extra stretching now too, with with this heavy energy going on, may help ease some of the tension that's within the body that we may be carrying, okay? Because there's a lot of energetic changes going on too, right? It's important to move the body, okay? Especially with this influx of energy and light codes, okay? This really will help integrate these codes into our DNA, into our light body energy fields, all right? I'm going to pull a Sacred Geometry Oracle card just to get some advice here. See what the Divine wants us to know and connect with today. Okay, Divine, what do we want to know here, please? I'll try to remember to shuffle any screen too. I'm still getting a little comfy cozy in my new spot where I'm reading. So again, thank you for bearing with me. I appreciate you. Thanks for coming on this wild ride with me. I appreciate you. Okay. Alright, let's get an oracle card here, please. It's too many. An oracle card for today's Astro weather. Oracle card for today's Astro weather, please. An oracle card for today's Astro weather. We'll take it. We will take it. Okay, we have emergence. Okay, the frequency of emergence invites us to approach our reality with a childlike attitude of innocence and wonderment, and to watch and celebrate the beauty that unfolds from that place. Okay? Beautiful. I love it. I really like that. Number 25. I feel like with this card, it's kind of giving us the advice of, when these erratic emotions, these intense emotions, these quick changes, the moodiness, and all that, when it may surface, remind yourself to adopt that childlike nature, okay? Tap back into that inner child, all right? And see just the beauty, and stop and smell the roses too a little bit, maybe buy yourself some flowers today, or get a new plan or something like that. Some type of something related to beauty, right? It is Friday. It's a Venus ruled day too, okay? And when we tap into our inner child, when we tap into that childlike nature and attitude, and we can see the world through like a lens of excitement, right? And a lens of newness, okay, right? You know, it's almost like children are almost more kind of like apt to rushing full force into challenges, right? Because they can almost see it as something new, right? It's like, oh, what can I explore today? Okay, so adopting that adventurous attitude, okay, and see how, you know, quickly things change. See how beautifully things will change when you do adopt that attitude, okay? So that's really beautiful. I like that. I like that message a lot. So I hope that you enjoyed today's Astro Weather Energy Report. And I hope it has been well received. I'm open and I welcome feedback. Again, my goal is to become more disciplined in learning astrology. Tropical at first, since I have studied this one. You know, and it has helped me tremendously with my own self-growth, my own self-understanding, you know, and really throughout my ascension and awakening. And the one way, again, I feel like I can soak it in best, I can master it, is by teaching it, right? And this is just something I'd like to share too, right? It's helped me so much, so I hope it helps you experience some enlightenment and understanding as well too. I hope you learn something new, right? You can always learn something new. You know, eventually I feel like there's so many different branches of astrology, right? So, you know, as I dive deep more into this, maybe this is not the one that I go with, just because there's so many, right? But the thing I love about astrology is there's always something else to learn, right? It's like a never-ending study, right? Not only is there so many branches, there even within each branch, you can just never-ending. There's so much information. There's so many different interpretations. There's so many different ways of viewing things, right? There's so many different puzzle pieces to put together that make the picture whole, right? And I feel like different branches of astrology kind of do that too. Like different branches can show us different things about self, right? About, you know, the universe at large too. You know, I do have my only qualm with tropical astrology. You know, I like to look at things, all sides of the situation, right? You know, it doesn't exactly align with the current astronomy, which I find really intriguing, okay? If you can find this Sky View app on your phone, download that, and you'll see what I'm talking about. You know, you just hold it up to like the night sky, and you can see where all the planets are and everything, and it shows you the constellations that they are in. Okay, but yeah, generally speaking, for me, starting with tropical astrology is a good basis to begin learning, especially for me. So in any event, I love you, I appreciate you, I thank you, and until next time.